Unlock the hidden dimensions of your mind, shape your future through spiritual awakening. I never expected a single dream to change everything. That night, the shadows danced on my walls, whispering secrets I could barely hear. I was lost, but more than that, I was searching. Every day felt like a fog, and I was suffocating in its grasp. But then came the dream, vivid and luminous, like a beacon piercing the dark. I felt a strange energy pulsing through me, wrapping around my heart, igniting a flicker of hope in a long-abandoned corner of my soul. Waking up, breathless and wide-eyed, I stumbled outside. The sun was rising, its light spilling across the ground like liquid gold. I closed my eyes, letting warmth wash over me. But why did it feel like the universe had shifted? Feathered clouds drifted overhead, each one a silent witness to my uncertainty. I saw the leaves shimmer with an otherworldly glow, and my mind raced. Was this a sign? Nature often spoke to me in riddles, and today was no exception. With every step I took, I felt the ground pulse beneath my feet, an ancient rhythm calling me forward. What awaited me? I felt like a stranger in my own life, surrounded by insistent whispers. The branches were a choir, the wind carried their song. And yet, I was tethered by fear. What if I was merely chasing shadows? My pulse quickened, and I could almost hear my thoughts snagging on the edges of reality. Questions lingered like thick fog. What if this awakening was merely an illusion? What if I opened doors I was never meant to? A low hum vibrated in the air, a gentle tension that sent shivers racing down my spine. I could not shake the feeling that something extraordinary awaited me, just beyond the horizon, forever out of reach. I reached up to touch the leaves, each one tinged with an inner light, and for a fleeting moment, everything made sense. But the clarity slipped away like sand between my fingers. Then, just as swiftly, everything fell silent. The birds stopped chirping, and the world held its breath as I stood there. A flicker of doubt crept in, a teasing thought: had I simply lost my mind? Or was there a truth hidden just beyond my perception, ready to unleash the potential I'd kept locked away? With uncertainty knotting my stomach, I wondered, what lay ahead? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. The following days blurred together in a dance of revelation and silence. Each morning, I ventured into the world outside my window, greeted anew by the harmonies and mysteries of nature. The dream was no longer just a lingering echo, it had seeded a relentless curiosity within me. I found myself drawn to the forest that nestled near my home, its dense trees offering an allure I could no longer resist. The air was thick with a scent of damp earth and burgeoning life. It was here that I believed I might glean the wisdom of the universe. This time, as I entered the woods, I wasn't just searching for clarity, I was seeking communion with the signs hidden from sight. Each step was deliberate, as I listened to the soft crunch of twigs underfoot, feeling the pulse of the world beneath me. Small creatures scurried away, each little movement a reminder of the intricate web of life around me. I paused at a small clearing, its sunlight filtering through the leaves like golden rain. It felt sacred, inviting, and yet, there was a weight in the air, a tension that hinted at something deeper, a hidden current of energy flitting just beyond my awareness. As I breathed in, a chorus of whispers seemed to unfurl, a serendipitous interplay of rustling leaves and distant birdsong. I closed my eyes, allowing their melody to wash over me. Amidst the tranquil symphony, an unexpected hum began to resonate within me. I opened my eyes and looked around. The forest had shifted, the familiar surroundings felt electrified, alive with potential. A shiver raced along my spine as I caught a glimpse of something grand concealed behind the trees, a glimmering figure that was not quite human, not quite ethereal, poised at the edge of my perception that I hesitated, unsure whether to approach or remain a spectator in this surreal moment. My instincts propelled me forward, intuition urging me to uncover the mystery that unfolded before me. With each step, the figure became clearer, transmuting shadows into light, radiating pure energy. It was a being of luminescent essence, flickering like a flame yet somehow solid. My heart raced. I was both terrified and drawn to this manifestation of wonder. "Seek and you shall find." The voice resonated within me, echoing not so much in sound but rather as a vibration in my soul. It entwined itself with my very being, a whisper cascading through layers of my consciousness. "Everything you search for lies within. Unveil your questions, and they will lead you home." My mind flooded with inquiries, but doubt tangled with desire. "What do you mean? What questions? I feel lost yet awakened. How do I navigate this new reality?" The words left my lips like a hymn, a prayer to the unseen depths. "Integration requires surrender," the figure replied, luminescent eyes watching with unwavering devotion. "Trust in the journey, for the path blooms with signs intended just for you. The journey is not about answers but rather the unfolding of your own truth." The realization hit me like a wave. Here, in this sacred grove, I was not meant to find concrete answers. I was invited to explore the layers of my spirit, to dig deeper and embrace the uncertainties I faced. That flickering flame, it was not separate from my essence but a representation of my own potential glowing in the dark. As the vibrant entity began to fade, the forest felt alive with echoes of its wisdom. I stood still, grounding myself in the emotions that washed over me: wonder, excitement, and the lingering shackles of fear. Questions fluttered like moths around a lamp. What did surrender truly mean? How could I trust a path that remained shrouded in mystery? And as I turned to leave the clearing, a new question surfaced and danced in the silence. What if the act of searching was as profound as the answers I sought? With my heart soaring and hope blossoming, I journeyed back, the whispers of the forest my guide and the flicker of light an ever-present reminder of the depth that awaited me. Each step felt like a sacred promise to remain curious, to explore the unseen dimensions of my mind, and to nurture the unfolding journey before me. In the luminous embrace of the dawn that followed, I found myself drawn back to the clearing, a compass pointing unwaveringly toward its heart. Each step reverberated with anticipation, carrying with it the essence of the previous encounter. The air felt charged, alive with the promise of new revelations, and yet a daunting heaviness lingered in my chest. Was I brave enough to unravel deeper truths, to embrace the shadows that might accompany the light? As I entered the grove, I was met by the familiar chorus of nature, although today it felt different, more vibrant, almost magical. Sunlight danced through the arching branches above, twinkling like scattered stars in a celestial expanse. I paused, an instinct warning me to listen closely. The rustle of leaves shifted in rhythm, a sonorous language known to all who dared to tune in. There, within the oscillating sounds, lay a narrative waiting to be heard. Kneeling on the soft earth, I closed my eyes, inviting the world to envelop me. I remembered the figure's words, a melody woven into the fabric of my consciousness: "The journey is not about answers but rather the unfolding of your own truth." With this mantra, I submerged myself in a meditative state, releasing the attachment to outcomes and embracing a flow of trust. Emerging from the depths of silence, I felt a warmth at my fingertips, as if energy enveloped me. It tingled intensely, igniting a sense of purpose deep within. A new figure appeared before me, this one smaller yet undeniably profound. It was a woodland creature, shimmering with a silvery an embodiment of both the gentle spirit of the forest and a reflection of my own essence. Its eyes were pools of wisdom, inviting me to step even further along the path of exploration. "Every question sheds light on your reality," this being softly articulated, its voice a gentle wind weaving through my mind. "What do you wish to uncover?" I hesitated, my heart pulsating in tandem with the creature's grace. "I wish to find my place within this vastness," I replied, vulnerability spilling into the air around us. "How do I engage fully with my spirit while releasing the fears that tether me?" The creature danced in the light, circling closer. "Within you lies a resonance waiting to be acknowledged. Journey inward, for your fears are mere shadows in the absence of understanding. You are not separate from the universe, you are the universe, shaped by your choices, your breath. The insight struck me as unquestionably profound. Stripped of the weight I often associated with fear, I felt liberated, my spirit lighter than before. But how do I engage with these fears? I pressed on, buoyed by an exhilaration mingled with trepidation. Embrace them, the creature advised simply. They are teachers cloaked in darkness. When you walk alongside them, illuminating the spaces where they dwell, you will uncover layers of your being. The key to unlocking these experiences lies in your willingness to confront and understand that. As I absorbed this wisdom, I felt a shiver of realization. Every interaction with fear was a step deeper into my spirit's essence. Was it possible that my self-doubt, my hesitation, were mere invitations to explore the hidden dimensions of my reality? Thanking the creature silently, I could feel a shift occurring within me. The canopy of the forest seemed to close in, creating a sanctuary around us, urging me to sit with the wisdom imparted. Questions fragmented and danced, swirling around the clarity that was unfolding. How could I ensure I didn't flee from the dark, but instead wove it into my tapestry of light? What transformative revelations awaited when I dedicated myself to understanding both? As I departed the clearing, the creature's silhouette flickered like a candle in the wind. The forest became a sanctuary of interconnected truths, each whisper beckoning me to return. I pondered how the interplay of light and shadow would continue to unfold in the journey ahead. And as I walked, a thought settled in my mind, a reflective question that lingered, begging for attention: how do I become the creator of my reality when the road ahead remains undefined and shrouded in the mystery of the unseen? The days that followed felt expansive yet weighty, each one a brushstroke on the canvas of my unfolding journey. There was an undeniable call to return to that sacred clearing, a magnetic pull that seemed to resonate with the very essence of my spirit. Yet, as I traversed the familiar paths, my thoughts spiraled through the complexity of my newfound revelations. Each moment felt like wandering on the threshold of an awakening I didn't quite grasp. As I neared the grove, the rustling leaves greeted me with a symphony that echoed the heartbeat of the earth. I took a deep breath, feeling the rich aroma of damp earth and wildflowers fill my lungs. Yet today was different. The air shimmered with an effervescent energy, as if the forest were alive with secrets whispering just beyond the veil of perception. Entering the clearing, I settled on a patch of soft moss, allowing my senses to absorb the surroundings fully. It felt like the forest was cradling me in its embrace, each element a thread in the intricate tapestry of life. In that stillness, I contemplated the woodland creature's words, the fear as a teacher, the shadows as crucial elements in my journey of self-discovery. Yet, how could I truly engage with that fear? What lessons would those shadows reveal about my essence? The sunlight poured down, dappling the ground in golden patches, and it was in that kaleidoscope of light that I noticed a movement, a fleeting shadow darting between the trees. Curiosity piqued, I rose to follow, my heart racing with a blend of excitement and apprehension. Maybe this was a sign, a symbol of the encounter I had been yearning for. As I moved deeper into the woods, the atmosphere shifted once again, wrapped in an aura of mystery. The trees whispered secrets, their branches dancing in synchrony, guiding my steps as if they recognized a path only I could traverse. I stumbled upon a small brook babbling with joy, its waters sparkling under the sunlight. Kneeling by its edge, I watched as the water mirrored the shifting sky above me, an ever-changing reflection of the world. Suddenly, the light and sound of the brook morphed into a vision within my mind. I saw myself standing at a crossroads, the paths diverging into shadows and light. To my left, dark and twisted trails promised confrontation with my fears, each step weighed down by uncertainty. To my right, a sunlit path opened toward the horizon, painted with vibrant colors of possibility and joy. Yet, even as I gazed upon those vibrant hues, I felt chains locking me to the darker path. What is the source of this reluctance? I pondered aloud, the words falling softly into the gentle rush of the water. With my heart laid bare, I understood that these choices were not merely paths, they were reflections of my internal struggle. As if in response, the water shimmered, and a figure emerged, formed by ripples and glistening droplets. It had no distinct shape, yet I sensed a depth of wisdom radiating from it. Why do you fear the shadows? The figure asked, its voice echoing like a gentle stream. That I fear what lies within, I admitted, the vulnerability spilling forth with a sincerity that felt cathartic. The unknown seems overwhelming, and I worry that my weaknesses shall drown me in despair. The figure swirled gracefully, causing the brook to ripple energetically. Embrace the unknown, for it is the very womb of creation. Within your fears lies the uncharted terrain of your spirit. Allow your curiosity to light the path through darkness. With each step taken through the shadows, remember, you are both the river and its flow, your essence shapes your reality. A thunderous resonance echoed inside me, and the water transformed into a mirror, revealing facets of me I had longed to understand. Each ripple radiated possibilities, layers of strength and vulnerability interwoven, the beauty of imperfection shimmering in the reflection. I recognized that if I were to willingly embrace my fears, I'd begin to weave a more authentic existence, where both light and shadow coexisted harmoniously. As the vision faded, I was left with a profound question to carry forward: how can I dance gracefully between the shadows and the light, allowing curiosity to guide me in crafting my reality, rather than be imprisoned by fear's grasp? I lingered by the brook, the remnants of the vision echoing through my consciousness like a fading melody. The figure's words hung in the air, weaving through my thoughts, beckoning me to explore deeper truths. Slowly, I rose, a newfound determination driving my steps back into the heart of the forest. I felt as if a hidden door had cracked open within me, illuminating possibilities I had previously dismissed. As I walked, I listened intently to the sounds around me, a chorus of chirping birds, rustling leaves, and the distant call of an unseen creature. Nature felt acutely alive, every element bursting with energy. It was as if the forest was conspiring to guide me, urging me to seek out a deeper understanding. I followed the sound of a haunting melody, luring me away from the well-trodden paths I knew all too well. Compelled by the enchanting tune, I meandered off the trail, my feet stepping lightly over the soft underbrush. The further I ventured, the richer the sensations became, until I arrived at a small glade, a pocket of enchantment hidden from the world. In its center stood an ancient oak tree, immense and gnarled, its roots sprawling like the fingers of a wise sage grasping the earth. It was a sentinel of time, a witness to countless stories that unfolded under its watch. I approached the tree, drawn by an inexplicable affinity. As I placed my hand upon its rough bark, I felt a surge of warmth radiating from its heart. It pulsed with life, connecting me to the earth below. I closed my eyes, surrendering to the sensation, allowing the tree's energy to course through me. In that stillness, whispers of the forest resonated within, a symphony of wisdom, both ancient and eternal. What stories do you hold, dear watchman? I murmured, my voice barely a whisper. What wisdom can you impart to a seeker like me? A sigh of wind rustled through the branches above, and in that breath, I felt a profound solace settle within me. The air thickened with anticipation, and I sensed the presence of something unseen, a spirit of the forest ready to reveal its secrets. The melody that had lured me here grew louder, harmonizing with the gentle rustling of the leaves. It was as if the very essence of existence was calling me to listen more deeply. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted, the shimmering light around the oak grew palpable, coalescing into a swirl of visions. Images unfolded, broken hearts mending, dreams igniting, laughter echoing beneath starry skies. Each scene flowed seamlessly into the next, illustrating the interconnectedness of life. A voice, neither male nor female, emerged from the swirling images, weaving a tapestry of wisdom that enveloped me. Life is many-layered, it conveyed, embodying both gravity and a lightness of spirit. You are shaped by the stories you carry, the joys, the pains, and the shadows you recoil from. Each experience serves as a brushstroke on the canvas of who you are yet to become. What you perceive as burdens can lift you into greater understanding. Tears brimmed in my eyes as I absorbed the magnitude of its message. The notion that pain could be transformative, that shadows could forge resilience, shifted something deep within me. Unlike before, the darkness did not feel like a prison. Instead, it felt like a cocoon, a sacred space for metamorphosis. Why do I hesitate to confront my darkness? I pondered aloud, astonished at how the wisdom nestled within me sought its voice. What is the key to unlocking the potential that lies hidden in fear? The ethereal presence responded, the wind dancing through the branches like laughter. Unraveling the fear requires embracing, not shunning. It exists to teach you, it craves understanding, too. Journey into your shadows, for therein lies the foundation of your light. To weave a new reality, anchor yourself in curiosity, invite the unknown to share its gifts. As the message settled into my being, I felt a gentle shift, like a row of dominoes falling into place. The vision began to fade, yet I remained firmly rooted by the oak. A delicate sense of clarity washed over me. My exploration could no longer be mired in fear but must be guided by wonder and the courage to show up authentically. With a heart that felt both tender and bolstered, I turned back towards the winding trail. But the path home now held a new promise. Questions echoed within me like the pulse of the thriving forest. What treasures lay hidden within my shadows, waiting to be unearthed? How might I transform my fears into stepping stones toward a life rich with meaning, connection, and joy? Would the act of confronting the unknown illuminate paths I had yet to consider? The sun dipped low as I traversed the path back through the forest, casting a golden hue that danced upon the leaves. Each step felt deliberate, as though my feet were exploring a new reality, one where the ordinary vibrated with extraordinary potential. The whispers of the oak lingered in my mind, merging with nature into a harmonious mantra of curiosity and courage. As I walked, I pondered the enigmatic call of shadows. The notion of embracing fear filled me with trepidation and excitement alike, conjuring images of what lay hidden within my own heart. Could I truly uncover the treasures lurking in my past? The stories that had once felt heavy were now woven with possibility, each thread beckoning me to unravel them. Near the edge of the glade, I noticed a shimmering iridescence entwined among wildflowers. Approaching cautiously, I found a small, crystalline orb nestled among the petals, glinting with an almost magnetic energy. It seemed to pulse with a rhythm, and instinctively, I reached out to touch it. The moment my fingers made contact, a jolt of energy coursed through me, and the world around me blurred into a kaleidoscope of colors and sounds. Suddenly, I was no longer standing in my forest, I was transported to a serene meadow, wide and boundless under a cerulean sky. Gentle breezes caressed my skin, and as I looked around, the beauty was breathtaking. Graceful creatures roamed freely, each embodying the essence of peace. It felt like a sanctuary, untouched by pain or fear. In the distance, a figure approached, a woman draped in flowing garments that shimmered with hues of the meadow's blossoms. Her presence radiated an aura of serenity, and I felt an immediate kinship with her. She seemed ageless, familiar, as though she had awaited my arrival. "Welcome, seeker," she spoke, her voice a melodic whisper, unburdened by time. "You hold within you the compass not just of your own journey, but of all who yearn for understanding. You stand at a precipice where shadows and light converge." Pondering her words, I felt an urge to ask, how can I navigate this merging? How do I find the strength to face what I dread? She smiled, a knowing light flickering in her eyes. To navigate the convergence, you must first learn to listen deeper than words, beyond thought. Your heart knows the way, allow it to guide you to the roots of your fears. It is not merely confronting them but understanding their origins that bestows power. Understanding the roots, I echoed, the phrase resonating like a bell within me. What if the roots are too painful? The pain is real and valid, she assured, her expression transforming to one of empathy. Yet, in confronting it, you kindle the flames of your own healing. Light mingles with shadows, creating a tapestry that tells your unique story. Embrace it all, dear heart, and you shall emerge transformed. As her words settled into my spirit, I could feel the veil of fear lifting, replaced by a burgeoning curiosity. But what if I don't know how to start? With an outstretched hand, she gestured to the landscape. Begin with the present. Each moment can be a starting point, allow it to reveal what needs to be unearthed. Journaling, meditation, conversation, there are paths aplenty. The key lies in your willingness to explore without judgment, to meet those shadows with compassion. I felt a newfound determination ignite within me. What gifts might I unveil if I follow this trail of curiosity? The woman's gaze turned earnest, penetrating yet gentle. Every intention shapes your reality. Curiosity births exploration, granting you sight beyond conventional understanding. The paths of wisdom can take many forms: books, mentors, experiences allowing you to sculpt your destiny. Just then, I realized time was slipping away, and a part of me resisted the thought of returning to the vibrant forest I had left behind. Will this place remain open to me, this dimension of understanding? She nodded, understanding etched into her features. You are never lost, the dimensions dwell within you. When you ask true questions from a place of love and courage, you call upon this wisdom. In your hands lies the capacity to unlock these realms time and again. With that revelation, the meadow began to dissolve, gently pulling me back toward the familiar embrace of the forest. The crystalline orb slipped from my grasp, now only a memory as the essence of that place lingered. I found myself kneeling in the soil of the glade once more, the ancient oak standing sentinel, as if it had welcomed me back with open arms. The sense of peace settled around me, illuminating a single thought: what will I discover when I confront my fears? What lies beyond the threshold of my comfort, waiting to be explored? In the silence of my heart, the search for answers lingered, an invitation to delve deeper into the uncharted territories of my soul. As I rose from the forest floor, an invigorating sense of clarity washed over me, reverberating through my body with each beat of my heart. The dance of sunlight filtering through the leaves felt like gentle applause from the universe, celebrating my return. But curiosity tugged at me more fiercely now, spurring me to undertake the conversations with my own shadows that the woman had inspired. With resolve steeling my spine, I decided to wander deeper into the woodland until instinct guided my steps. The forest whispered familiar tales as I moved through thickening thickets and over soft mossy carpets that seemed alive beneath my feet, breathing with me. Each inhalation filled my lungs with earthy scents, grounding me in the present while igniting embers of reflection on the journey ahead. As I meandered along an overgrown path, a soft rustling diverted my focus. A small creature emerged, its wide eyes shimmering like jewels. A fox, bright-eyed and alert, approached me haltingly. Its gaze held a mixture of wisdom and mischief, as though it carried the weight of 1,000 stories within its slender frame. You seek the deeper understanding, don't you? The fox spoke, weaving around my legs in a playful manner. Its voice was light yet profound, just like the whispers of the woman who had welcomed me to the meadow. But are you ready to peel back the layers that bind your heart? I nodded, unsure of where conversation could lead, yet drawn to its essence. I have begun, I confessed. But each layer feels heavier than the last, and with them come the shadows I fear facing. The weight of shadows can teach you about the light you carry, the fox said, now resting before me attentively. They are not merely burdens, they are mirrors reflecting the parts of you needing love. You must hold them close, for in the delicate embrace of understanding, they transform into guides. Hold them close to understand. I mused, running my fingers through the bark of the nearest tree, seeking the paradox in the fox's words. But what if I uncover things I cannot change? What if it brings more pain? Acceptance of truth can usher in grace, the fox replied, its eyes sparkling with the ephemeral glow of understanding. Change is a journey entwined with your acceptance of what is. Seek to understand, and much of what you fear will reveal the beauty within even the suffering. With a newfound sense of openness, I gazed into the vastness surrounding us. The trees stood tall like ancient sentinels, each one harboring secrets within their rings, waiting patiently for a seeker such as me. What's the next step, then? I pressed, anxiety entwined with a bubbling anticipation. The fox tilted its head thoughtfully. Follow your intuition to where you feel pulled. Listen to the feeling in your heart, whether it calls for a journal, a conversation with a friend, or even a solitary walk to reflect. Within those paths lie the tools to shape your understanding. That I closed my eyes for a moment, letting the weight of the world shift as I attuned myself to the whispers of my own spirit, the gentle stirrings I had often ignored. What would it take to embrace a deeper conversation with my fears? What awaited me along the journey of manifestation? Remember, the hidden dimensions lie within you, the fox continued, edging closer. With courage, illuminate the shadows with your inner light. Every path offers wisdom, revealing more questions as you unearth the forgotten corners of your spirit. What truly calls to you from the depths? Clarity, I breathed, feeling the resonance of its essence echo within me. But will I have the strength to face what may rise? Strength lies in your vulnerability, the fox declared, rising to its feet as though readying for departure. Be bold enough to step into the unknown, trusting that every revelation will bring you closer to the realization of yourself. As the fox slipped away into the underbrush, I stood grounded in my newfound realization, feeling the insatiable fire of exploration ignite within me. I realized that embracing the shadows did not equate to losing my light, but rather involved illuminating the many facets of my experience. What lies beyond the layers that cloak my truth? What treasures await as I venture into my past, seeking not to hide but to illuminate those forgotten shadows, and in doing so, can I reshape my future? The questions danced like dappled sunlight through the leaves, inviting me once more to explore the realms within. As I stood in the tranquil embrace of the forest, the fox's words resonated deeply within me, urging me to push past the edges of my comfort and into uncharted territories of self-discovery. The soft rustle of leaves played a soothing melody, each note a reminder of the intimately woven relationship between all living things. I breathed in once more, trying to absorb the essence of the space around me, feeling it seep into my skin, awakening dormant questions demanding attention. Here in the woods, I could sense the energy of time itself, flowing through the roots and branches, intertwining with my own at this pivotal moment. My purpose was clear: to delve deeper and begin the essential conversations with my shadows. But how does one begin such a daunting task? Fueled by wonder, I continued along the path, feeling drawn to the deeper thicket, where shadows played games of hide-and-seek. With each step, the air thickened with stories left untold, my heart quickening in response to the symphony of life around me. Emerging into a sun-dappled glade, I discovered an old stone well, half covered in moss, ancient and wise. It seemed to call to me, inviting exploration beneath its weathered surface. Peering into the dark depths of the well, I saw ripples reflecting the afternoon light, colors swirling like memories. The well whispered softly, carrying fragmented echoes of laughter, tears, and muffled conversations that resonated with my own unexpressed fears. A curious urge compelled me to draw closer, and I knelt beside it, running my fingers along the cool stone. What had this well absorbed throughout the years? What truth lay waiting in the shadows of my past, submerged and unacknowledged? The well mirrors your heart, a voice emerged suddenly from behind, making me start. I turned to face a figure cloaked in a shimmering robe that shifted colors like autumn leaves, each hue reflecting a different emotion. It was a woman with an ethereal presence, her eyes twinkling with the wisdom of time. "I am Sophia," she announced, her voice as flowing as the brook nearby, infused with compassion and understanding. "The guardian of hidden truths awaits the seeker. What do I seek?" I whispered, casting my gaze back to the well's depths. "How do I confront my shadows when I am so afraid of what they might reveal?" Sophia smiled gently, almost as if reading the unspoken turmoil within me. "You are standing at the precipice of awakening," she reminded me. "Each shadow has a soul, each heartache a lesson carved into the narrative of you. For too long, you have brushed them aside, but now is the sacred time to embrace them. They hold keys to the wisdom you so desperately desire." The wind rustled through the trees as an unbidden sense of affirmation enveloped me, stirring dormant threads of curiosity. "How do I embrace what has pained and shaped me?" I asked, feeling the weight of my past pressing against my chest. "Sit with them," Sophia replied serenely, gesturing toward the well. "Let your thoughts pour into the depths until you can hear their echoes clearly. Journal your fears, acknowledge your pain, and let it speak. You must dare to listen, not just to the anguish but to the profound love they also contain. In facing each shadow, you liberate the light embedded within them." Taking a deep breath, I nodded slowly. Sophia's words painted vivid images in my mind, compelling me to imagine my shadows no longer as foreboding entities to detest, but as essential chapters of my story, waiting for the compassion of attention and acceptance. What if I trigger memories I have long buried? I hesitated, uncertain of the treasures hidden beneath that veil. "Memories remain dormant until the soul is ready," she reassured me. "Every step you take leads to recalibration and awakening of truths that will empower you. You are the author of your own journey, let the ink of your heart guide you." What stories yearn to rise from the depths? As questions tumbled forth, weaving a tapestry of reflected wisdom, I felt a tentative excitement begin to blossom. I closed my eyes momentarily and envisioned myself confronting those shadows, speaking with them, absorbing their lessons. What treasures would emerge once those buried conversations heard the light of day? Sophia stepped back, her figure shimmering with the sacred knowledge she imparted. Remember, light and shadow are but two sides of the same coin. Embrace the dualities within you, for they hold the map to your authentic self. Allow each step to lead you deeper, for mystery is the mother of revelation. With gratitude swelling in my chest, I returned my focus to the well, feeling a gentle pull toward the unknown depths. As I prepared to let my thoughts flow into the darkness, I reflected on Sophia's words, sensing the imminent intersection of my courage and vulnerability. What treasures await within the shadows I am yet to meet? How can I open this well of memories and embrace the reflections that arise, allowing them to reshape my future? With these unanswered questions lingering, the echoes of the past beckoned, inviting me to explore the hidden dimensions of my own spirit. With the interplay of fading light and the encroaching dusk, I drew closer to the well's edge, compelled by an insatiable curiosity. I could almost hear the whispers of ancient wisdom rising up from the depths, weaving a tapestry of forgotten stories and neglected truths. My heart thrummed with anticipation as I began to pour my thoughts into the still water, watching them ripple outward, creating circles that danced on the surface before fading into the infinite. Feel the water of your soul, Sophia had urged, and I focused intently, quieting my mind. Memories surged like soft waves, comforting yet undoubtedly weighty. Childhood laughter echoed beneath layers of time, mingling with moments of sorrow. The day I lost a dear friend, the times I felt unseen in a crowded room, the shadows of self-doubt that so frequently clouded my heart. As I leaned closer, a spark shifted within me. It was here, within this intricate labyrinth of my past, that the seeds of transformation could be sown. As I sat before the well, I sensed that I was not alone. Shadows flickered just beyond my vision, not to frighten me, but to invite me into their realm. There was something both alluring and unnerving about these manifestations. They felt like echoes of myself, yearning for acknowledgement. In this stillness, the forest came alive with its symphony of twilight whispers. The rustling leaves began to narrate their own stories, intertwining with my own. They urged me to remember times of joy and pain, a delicate invitation to embrace wholeness. I saw the tiniest of creatures darting past, scurrying towards their nests, preparing for the night. I wondered if they too confronted shadows within themselves, dancing between light and darkness without fear. Will you allow the shadows to guide you? A gentle gust of wind swept past me, echoing a question that felt as if it had come from the very heart of the forest. I looked to the trees, their boughs swaying knowingly. If you truly wish to integrate the stories of your past, you must first engage with your shadows. Drawing upon my courage, I spoke aloud to the well, allowing the words to flow freely. I see you, my shadows. I acknowledge your presence. What wisdom do you bring? The well's surface quivered, and for a fleeting moment, I caught glimpses of faces familiar yet woven from threads of dreams and fears. They beckoned me not with the burden of despair but with the gestures of guidance and healing. As I continued to pour forth my unfiltered thoughts, I began to sketch images in my mind's eye, a spectral version of myself, representing my insecurities, my regrets, my wounds. They stood before me like a constellation waiting to be mapped out, each star a narrative longing for light. Suddenly, a reflection shimmered in the water, captivating me. There before me were not just shadows of despair, I could see glimmers of strength threaded amidst the darkness, the resilience born of struggle, the compassion forged through heartache. These were the gifts I had overlooked, overshadowed by fear and shame. Resilience and vulnerability dance in unison. The voice of Sophia echoed in my ears. You are weaving a new narrative today. Embrace the flow. Lifting my gaze back to the forest, I questioned what these shadows would reveal if I continued my exploration. What if I walked boldly into their territories, engaging them in dialogues? What unseen treasures would emerge if I summoned the courage to turn and face my fears head-on? As if in answer, a sudden burst of fireflies illuminated the clearing, weaving a golden web of light through the night. I marveled at their luminous dance, a perfect metaphor for transformation, the beauty of embracing the darkness to reveal the light. Fear was beckoning me still, whispering uncertainties, but alongside it blossomed a flicker of wonder. Perhaps, in turning toward those shadows, I could not only unearth the lessons they held but also forge a more empowered and authentic self. That I in that profound moment of contemplation, I stood at the nexus of possibilities. With every heartbeat echoing the urgent call of discovery, I pondered, how can I engage my shadows to co-create a narrative that honors my entire being? What if I dared to navigate the dark waters of memory, transforming them into an illuminated path forward? As the fireflies continued to weave their magic, I understood that the journey was not one of quick resolution but a gradual revelation. Each step I took into the depths of my own shadows whispered of connection, energy, and healing yet to be unlocked. And so, still gazing into the well, I embraced my role as the seeker, allowing questions to lead me further down the spiral of awakening. What stories are yet to be unveiled from the depths of my being? How can I bridge the light of my spirit with the passages of my darkness? As the whispers of the forest enveloped me, I resolved that the answers might lie in surrendering to the mystery, dancing amid shadows with courage and grace. As the moon waxed full, casting gentle silver light upon the forest floor, I found myself returning to the sacred clearing where it all began, a space resonating with the echoes of transformation. The journey was laden with treasures uncovered, the lessons buried in shadows, the whispers of wisdom from ethereal beings, and the vibrant energy flowing through every moment. Now, standing amidst the familiar warmth of the ancient oak, I felt a profound fullness within my being. Everything had changed. I was not the lost wanderer who had stumbled into this realm of discovery. I was the creator of my reality, laden with the rich tapestry of experiences woven from both joy and sorrow. As dusk painted the sky in dusky hues, I reflected on the truths I had unearthed, understanding that within the depths of fear lay pathways to liberation. That my time in the forest was an awakening, an integration of all that I had feared and hidden. The shadows no longer felt like harbingers of despair, they had become luminous entities illuminating parts of myself that had languished in darkness. I had learned to engage with my vulnerabilities, inviting them into conversations rich with compassion and curiosity. The past, with its layers of pain, no longer restrained me. Instead, it held wisdom locked away, waiting to be released. As the moonlight shimmered through the branches, I closed my eyes and inhaled deeply, sensing the energies converging in a mystical dance. I opened my heart wide, channeling everything the forest had taught me. The pulse of the earth resonated through my veins. It was then that I understood, every experience, every emotion, every shadow was part of a greater Hulia symphony of existence connecting me to all living beings. Seek and you shall find, I whispered, embodying the essence of the teachings that had guided me thus far. With each breath, it became crystal clear the essence of my journey was less about finding definitive answers and more about unveiling the questions that resonate with the soul. I had entered a realm where uncertainty transformed into potential, where my questions became portals inviting me to explore the hidden dimensions of my existence. In that moment of clarity, a wave of gratitude washed over me. Gratitude for the guardians that had appeared along my path, the woods that cradled my secrets, and the shadows that had stepped forward to be seen. I had grown exponentially, each layer peeling away, revealing the beauty hidden beneath. The integration seemed infinite. Each shadow illuminated new facets of self. Embracing the tangible presence of the oak, I pledged to carry this awareness into the world. I understood now that to live authentically meant to walk the delicate balance between light and shadow. Trusting in the journey was not simply about relinquishing fear, it was about standing resolute in the face of the unknown, allowing curiosity to lead the way. As the moon reached its zenith, a soft voice echoed through the clearing, a familiar resonance that lingered in my heart. Welcome home, seeker, it spoke, wrapping me in warmth and love. I opened my eyes to see the shimmering figure from my first encounter, the luminescent being embodying the energy of the universe itself. I honor your journey, it continued, for you have transformed the darkness into a well of possibilities. You are no longer chasing shadows, you are weaving light. The being reached out, and as our essences intertwined, I felt an expansion of consciousness, a reminder that we are all interconnected threads in the fabric of existence. In that exchange, I felt the weight of collective stories, the fears and dreams of humanity that echo through time. I came to understand that each of us is a beacon of potential, navigating our own shadows while inviting others to embrace theirs. Together, We could illuminate paths of healing, unity, and compassion. As I returned from this ethereal embrace, I felt profound solace settle within me. The night air hummed with the whispers of wisdom gained through my journey, filling me with an understanding that transcended words. I had cultivated resilience and acceptance, and in doing so, I had unearthed the intrinsic strength that lay dormant within. I turned back to the forest, that sanctuary that had revealed so much, and a profound recognition washed over me. His was only the beginning. The journey of awakening was a lifelong exploration, navigating through the complexities of existence with grace and love. As I took my final steps toward the edge of the grove, I glanced back at the ancient oak, a steadfast guardian of the truths I had embraced. In that bittersweet moment of farewell, I made a promise to return not only to gather wisdom but to share the light birthed from the shadows with those who sought it, and as I stepped back into the world beyond the trees, I whispered a soft affirmation into the night, one that resonated with the ageless song of the universe: I am the light born of my shadows, I am the seeker and the truth. And it was then I realized, we are all here to illuminate the journey, each of us, a candle flickering in the vast expanse, collectively guiding one another home.